Okay, so let's be real. If you're running a business that isn't one of the tech giants, you've probably asked yourself, how on earth do we keep up with this AI revolution? Well, today, we're taking a look at a tool that claims to be the answer. This is our strategic briefing on Dify.ai.
And this is the question, right? The one that's probably keeping a lot of business leaders up at night. You see what's happening, you know you need to get in the game, but you don't have the bottomless resources of a Google or a Microsoft. So where do you even start?
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. We'll kick things off by really defining the problem. Then we'll introduce Dify as a potential solution. We'll see how it stacks up against some of the other players, dig into the real-world benefits and risks, and then wrap up with some concrete actions your team can take. Sound good? Let's dive in.
Right, so this gets to the absolute heart of it. If you're in that mid-market space, you feel this immense pressure to innovate with AI. But the reality is you're juggling that against some very real limits on your budget, on your time, and on your access to that top-tier engineering talent. It's a classic rock-and-a-hard-place situation.
And that's exactly where a platform like Dify.ai is designed to step in. It wants to be the solution to that exact dilemma, to be the bridge that closes the gap between your big AI ambitions and the resources you actually have.
Okay, so what is this thing really? In plain English, Dify is an open-source platform for building and, well, operating your AI apps. That fancy term LLMs just means it helps you manage the entire life cycle of your AI. Think of it like a visual workshop where you can create chatbots or AI assistants, but without needing to be a hardcore coder. And the key phrase here is production ready. This stuff is built for real business use from the get-go, not just for messing around. And look, this isn't some tiny niche tool we're talking about. These numbers show some serious momentum. Over 130,000 apps have been built on their cloud service. And those GitHub stars? That's basically a massive vote of confidence from the developer community. And that matters a lot because it tells you the platform is stable and it's constantly getting better.
You know, what's so powerful here is how it demystifies the whole process. You can literally drag and drop different blocks to design how your AI thinks. You can plug in pretty much any language model you want, so you're not locked into one vendor. Then, and this is the magic part, you feed it your own company's data, so it becomes an expert on your business. And then bam, you deploy it. It makes building an AI feel less like rocket science and more like putting together a puzzle.
So if we peek under the hood, Dify pretty much bundles the whole shebang. You've got the visual builder, you have the freedom to swap out AI models, which means no vendor lock-in, and you've got tools to perfect your prompts. Now that one in the middle, retrieval augmented generation, or RAG, that's a big deal. All it really means is that it makes it super easy for the AI to securely access your company's private data to give you useful, relevant answers. It also handles all the complicated backend stuff for you, which is a huge time saver.
All right, but here's the thing. No business decision happens in a vacuum, right? To really get a feel for Dify's value, we've got to see where it fits in with the competition.
I love this quote. It just perfectly nails the core difference in philosophy here. LangChain is like getting a professional-grade toolbox. It's incredibly powerful if you're an expert craftsman who wants to build from scratch. But Dify is like a pre-built scaffolding system. It gives you the structure so you can get up there and start building way, way faster.
So when you actually lay it all out, the trade-off becomes crystal clear. Dify is a platform built for speed. It's about getting to market faster. LangChain is a library for developers who need that absolute granular control and are totally fine with investing the engineering time to get it. Neither is better, they're just for different goals.
Okay, but what about the other visual builders out there, like Flowise or LangFlow? They're playing in the same sandbox, but it seems Dify has an edge in a couple of key places. People rave about its debugging experience, which, trust me, is a lifesaver when things go wrong. It can also handle more complex logic, which means you can build more sophisticated apps than just a simple Q&A bot.
And the big one, how does this stack up against the giants, AWS and Azure? Their tools are incredibly powerful, no doubt, but they're also designed to lock you into their world. You end up having to piece together a bunch of different services. Dify, on the other hand, is a simpler all-in-one package. And because it's open source, you can run it wherever you want, which is a huge strategic win against vendor lock-in.
Okay, we know what it is, we know who it's up against. Now let's get down to brass tacks. What are the real benefits? What are the risks you need to watch out for? And yeah, what's it going to cost?
The pricing here is actually pretty straightforward, which is refreshing. You can play around for free, and the paid plans are really accessible for smaller teams. But honestly, the real showstopper here is that open source option. For $0 in licensing fees, you can host it yourself. That gives you total control over your costs and, maybe even more importantly, total control over your data.
So, what does all that actually mean for your business? Let's talk impact. Faster time to value means you start seeing a return on your AI efforts in weeks, not years. Accessible to non-developers means your product managers or your marketing folks can actually build their own tools without getting in the engineering queue. It's about getting enterprise-level power without the enterprise-level price tag.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. No platform is a magic bullet, right? There are always trade-offs. With a tool like this, you're trading some of that ultimate fine-grained control for speed. You're also tied to Dify's schedule for new features. And, of course, with any AI, the output still needs a human in the loop to make sure it's accurate. You just have to go in with your eyes open.
All right, so let's land the plane. How do you actually put this information to use? Let's break it down based on who you are in your organization.
If you're the CTO, the message is simple. Don't try to boil the ocean. Start small. Pick a pilot project that's high impact but low risk. Something that will show real value but won't sink the ship if it's not perfect on day one. Use that pilot to see how Dify plays with your other systems and start planning how you'd scale it if it's a hit.
Now, for the CFO, look, you've got to look past that monthly subscription fee. The real ROI here is in efficiency and opportunity. How many hours a week can you save your sales team? How many more leads can marketing generate? That's the real financial story you need to be analyzing.
If you're in sales or marketing, oh man, this is where you can get really creative. Think about all the repetitive stuff that eats up your team's day. Imagine an AI sales assistant that can draft personalized follow-up emails, or a content generator that actually understands your brand's voice. This is about freeing up your best people to do what they do best, strategize and connect with customers.
And for my operations folks, this is all about one thing: efficiency. Look for those routine, process-driven tasks. Deploying an AI copilot to help with things like generating standard reports or handling first-line customer service queries can be a massive, immediate win for productivity.
So at the end of the day, it all boils down to one single strategic question. What is your business optimized for? Is it speed and accessibility, or is it ultimate, granular control over every single component? Dify is a clear bet on speed. Answering that question for yourself will tell you everything you need to know about whether a platform like this could be your key to the AI kingdom.